Gacha Box, it's a show about reviewing video game commercials. If you're new around here, welcome. Glad to have you. If you're coming back, irashaimase! Because that's what you get if you subscribe to the channel. You get to be greeted a second time, aggressively, in Japanese. But a triple welcome for showing up to Trailer Tuesdays, where we're going to be looking at modern game trailers to see what of the marketing types they're actually using in these modern day commercials. Because looking at classic commercials is all fine and good, but nowadays people don't really use commercials to market games so much as they use trailers to speak for themselves. There are still games that rely on commercial marketing, but many companies, many game developers, many publishers rely on trailers more so than commercials because they want the game to stand on its own merits, or they at least want the person viewing the trailer to see it as the game being presented as its own thing, as opposed to something that feels like a more artificial marketing scheme. Now, we'll see whether or not that's actually true as we go through these, but I figured that for me to choose something, for me to look at something honestly for the very first Trailer Tuesdays, we'd really want to look at something that I would have no familiarity with. And basically, I made my decision based on what the people in my Discord were talking about. Not the channel, it's Discord, Discord of other video essayists on YouTube. And I was seeing people talk about a Switch game, I think it's a Switch game, yeah, called Neon White. I have no idea what the game is about, what they're doing, what the genre is even. I think it has an anime aesthetic. It has some kind of, from the screenshot I saw of a banner ad, I think it has a sort of visual novel-esque flair to it. But other than that, I don't know what kind of game it is. So let's see what the trailer has. Let's see what kind of... Oh, and for your convenience, here are the marketing types. Hope that's helpful. Now you're on the same page as us. So let's go ahead and get this trailer started. Neon White release date trailer. What are they selling us on? On the Nintendo Switch, alright. Annapurna Interactive, known for art house games.
Why do they need assassins in heaven? To do someone's dirty work.
Slay demons with soul cards. This download did not work typically very well. Yeah, I'm having tons of artifacting here. I really doubt that that's what was the intended experience. But we're seeing, even in this announcement trailer, just direct to gameplay. After they gave us
kill or be killed.
Some basic sense of the story. Oh, there's the visual novel aspect they're showing. It actually looks pretty fun. It seems to be some kind of platformer with a card system, and the cards represent assassinations? Huh. It's pretty interesting. Alright, so here's how I would go ahead and describe what that trailer was trying to present us from a commercial perspective. Obviously, association with being cool, but let's look past that. There was none of marketing type 1, which is quality of the product, value for the dollar. That is entirely regulated to the actually showing the gameplay of the game as the vast majority of the announcement commercial there. And admittedly, it did look pretty fun to me. It seemed to be some kind of score attack game, and the card system. Cards are a pretty common way to describe a variety of complex systems in a quick and efficient way in certain games, so you see a lot of games relying on the imagery of a card to choose something quickly when they don't have a lot of time to actually explain what's going on to you, or they don't want to have to explain everything that's going on for you to use the system accurately and efficiently, at least to a certain extent, before you dive deeper. The only other thing that I could really point out from that trailer is that there was a bit of Type 3 type 3C marketing just from the artistic style, the direction, in that they switched over to that visual novel-esque presentation for just a moment and did like the big zoom up on, hey, look, pretty girls, but oh, weird mask thing. That's kind of crazy. And so like the dichotomy of this edgy mask, edgy animal-shaped mask, and oh, look, pretty girls, is probably the image they're trying to get you to stick in your mind. They did show the other characters, and they showed some cutscenes that had cool imagery. That is about the association of the game and quality. They want you to see quality visuals, use your own judgment to determine whether or not that imagery is artistically sound or interesting to you, rather than trying to say it is the way other commercials might try to associate it with something else that you would see as valuable or good art. But other than just trying to demonstrate quality, having a splash screen that was a little bit visually memorable, there wasn't really any type 2 marketing. There wasn't trying to associate a distinct value with playing the game. There wasn't really anything distinct about that trailer that wanted you to associate the game with a different value. Again, we're kind of glossing over wanting to associate gameplay with coolness because that's going to be literally everything, and I don't want to repeat myself all that often, but there wasn't trying to like associate it with being popular. But that said, they could show a lot more. They could do a lot more with the other trailers that I have prepared. That was just the announcement trailer, so let's go ahead and boot up the release day trailer, and hopefully my grab of the video won't be nearly as artifacted, because I don't think that was part of the intention. I think that was my video failing on me. But let's see. Let's see what else they got for us. Hey, we've got an ESRB rating this time. Use of tobacco! Oh, they must be really cool. Alright, so we're seeing a lot more gameplay shown off almost immediately.
We're called neons.
Okay.
Sinners plucked from hell to do God's dirty work. But I'm finding it hard to believe we're in heaven.
So we're really selling more on the story here. We're actually quieting down the trailer in order to deliver that message of what's this story about and do you want to be a part of it? And that dichotomy between heaven and assassination is being really put on the forefront. Hey! And more focus on dating sim style gameplay for the visual novel-esque thing. Okay. Alright, I see what they're doing there. That's a little bit more. Cool. So what else were they doing there that, say, the reveal trailer did not do? It's not just that we were showing more gameplay, it's that we were given significantly more time for the story, the narrative elements to come to the forefront. It is actually associating a value of the story with the game that you're going to see, and that value that they want you to feel as an audience is being trapped in a dichotomy between heaven and hell, between good and bad, and that fits with what then goes into the sort of edgelordy presentation, the flashing lights of text going across, changing fonts very rapidly, gunfire all the time to grab your attention multiple times throughout the trailer, getting with a few weird images now and again, and then the dating sim aspect of it. That is the most classic value association in the history of marketing, which is, hey, if you play our game, girls will like you. Or at the very least, you're going to get to look at a pretty girl. And, I can't say that I haven't fallen for that marketing tactic. But at least I can say that I know you have too. But in terms of type 3 marketing, things that were meant to really stick in your memory, nothing much of that was presented yet. There wasn't weird imagery being shown. There wasn't I mean, there were some artsy images. There are people floating looking dead, but that didn't really have the kind of impact that you would want to see from like a particularly shocking image. It really was just cool art style, good music, music being given time to breathe, music actually having your attention drawn to it by having moments in the trailer that went quiet, that showed you the absence of the music, and then brought it back in, so that you pay attention to it. And the final screen there, letting you sit on the soundtrack, that's really what sells the quality of the music for that instance. So yeah, that was, in terms of, was this trailer a good commercial? That was really good. I think they covered a lot of ground. They got in Type 2 marketing, which is something that was missing from the reveal trailer. So the last thing I have here for Neon White is a walkthrough trailer that I pulled, and we're going to see if something that really is supposed to be a gameplay trailer, where they're putting the gameplay as the sole central focus, is doing something a little bit more from a marketing perspective than one may expect when they search something like Neon White, just gameplay, no commentary. No more waiting.
I'm Ben Esposito. In 2018, I released Donut County, a wholesome game designed for kids and adults.
So we're
alike.
actually going to
After that,
have
I decided that my next
get
game
to
will
know
not be
the
for kids
creator
or adults.
segment of this.
It'll
That's
be a game
good.
for freaks. Neon White is a single-player speedrunning FPS where you can
That took me a
sacrifice your
moment.
guns for
Said
godlike
game for
parkour
freaks.
moves.
So here we
You
have
play
the
as
creator
Blade,
just
a dead assassin plucked
narrating
from hell.
his
As a
description
Neon,
of
you
the
have
game,
10
his
days to
elevator
purge heaven
pitch,
of a demonic
and
invasion,
that's marketing
but you're
type
not
1.
alone.
Just tell
Only
me
the
the
fastest
quality.
demon slayer
Explain
will
the
earn the right to
quality
stay
to
in
me.
heaven.
That's really good.
As you play White's story, you'll have plenty of opportunities to get to know the other Neons. You could use a soul card's magic to shoot like a gun, or you can
All right,
discard
and
it
they're
to use its
describing
special
the
movement
gameplay.
ability.
Again, that's
When
still
to shoot and when to discard
marketing
is up to
type
you,
1.
But if you want to go
That
fast, you're
is
gonna need to discard your
associate
cards.
quality
Don't be afraid to use
with
them.
the
You
visuals,
can't
with
take
what
cards
you're
with
seeing,
you to the next level.
with the value of what the game
Here's
costs.
your handgun. Discard it to use Elevate, which lets you double jump to attack from above or create new shortcuts. Here's your SMG.
What I
Discard
really
it to
like
use
about
Stomp.
this is
It's
by having the
self-explanatory.
creator of the game
And here we have the
explain
shotgun.
the system
Discard
to
it to
you,
launch yourself
we're
like a
actually doing
fireball.
something a little bit more than
Now let's put
quality
it
type
together.
1.
I'll demonstrate a
We
level for you.
are associating the value of the game with a real life story. With
Neon White is made up of tight, hand-designed levels that are meant to be replayed, with new things to do as you gain XP known as Insight. You can share level times with friends, or if you prove yourself,
the
you can
narration
compete in
style
global
here
Neon
is trying to
leaderboards.
get us to associate what is the value
I got
of
a
the
silver.
person
You can
and their
see I earned
creative
some insight, which
process
unlocks a few
with
new
the
features
value
for
of the
this level.
game.
Not bad, but let's see what it looks like if we play our cards right.
Involving people in the real life stories of how the game is made is a tactic for quality
Piece of
that
cake.
has become
Math, my
significantly
breakfast.
more common
Top medals
in the
improve your
indie
neon
gaming
rank,
scene,
which unlocks even more
whereas
missions.
before
It also
it would
earns more
be
insight, which
really
reveals
restricted
hints for
to
shortcuts and a hidden
auteur game
collectible at every
developers,
level.
really famous names like
Each one
Hideo
of these gifts is a
Kojima.
mini puzzle that requires a clever use of card resources to collect.
But nowadays, that sort of
It's a
message
tattletale story.
is
I know someone who loves
accessible
these.
to
Let's go find
anyone
her.
who wants to put out a trailer for a creative
This
product.
is the map of Central Heaven. Here you'll get new missions and events where you can spend time with the other characters. Giving gifts you found in your missions will deepen your relationships, which can lead to certain encounters.
All right, hold on. He very
It's not a
purposefully
traditional
paused
dating sim,
there.
but there's lots of juicy content to unlock, like side quests,
He
exploring
very
the underworld,
purposefully paused there because
and hidden
he's
memories
trying
from
to
your past
suggest
life, which
something
might change how your
lurid,
story ends.
and that lurid
During the
suggestion
10 Days of Judgment,
is
you'll find weapons made
a
of
good
human
way
souls,
to
meet angels in the
cause
flesh,
people, cause an
and if you become
audience
the number
to
one demon slayer,
assume
they'll give you an
that
ice
a
cream
certain
cone.
kind of value is going to be delivered on the game.
Neon White
But
is
because
coming to
nothing was
Nintendo Switch
actually
and PC
said,
this winter. If you're a
it
freak,
allows
put it
the
under
viewer
Steam
to
wishlist.
fill in the
On
blank
behalf of the
however they
team,
wish.
Thank you.
If
We'll see you in heaven.
by encounters he means, are we getting some sexy times going on with this game? As a dating sim, maybe. Or maybe that's just a wink wink nudge nudge kind of suggestion that he wants you to think that something like that may be there, whereas the actual secret encounter with a fully charged relationship gouge could be something entirely different. The rating for this game did end up being T for teen, so there's really no reason from an external perspective to expect that. But that is a method of doing type 2 value marketing, which I think is pretty rarely seen, which is leaving something open for suggestion by saying nothing, but drawing attention to the fact that you're leaving out something that you're going to say. You invite the viewer to fill in that blank with their own value that they want to see in the game, even if it turns out that value isn't there when they actually get to playing. Once they actually get to playing, maybe that doesn't even matter anymore. Once you have hooked someone and gotten them in, you've gotten your sale, hopefully they will value the product for what it is rather than their expectation. But the whole point of commercials, of trailers, of marketing is to hook a person in to then experience the thing firsthand. Then maybe that sort of thing doesn't matter. Maybe it doesn't matter that you left a blank and used the blank to sell the quality of the product. I know I really focused on that one point and I didn't really watch much of the rest of the trailer because of it, but I think that was the most interesting aspect of that gameplay walkthrough from a marketing perspective. Yes, we did get a lot of good, accurate, and straightforward information about the nature of the gameplay, and so the fact that we purposefully left something out is going to draw a lot of attention. It was very well done. I'm very impressed. That's absolutely what I want to see from game trailers. That was just awesome. All right, that was Neon White, everyone. That was great. I can see why all my friends got really into that. So let me know, were those trailers, were those commercials good enough to get you to want to play Neon White? You don't have to tell me whether or not you actually bought it. You could actually just tell me how much you like the commercials. Or in the comments, you could also hit me up with some other trailers you'd like me to review for next Trailer Tuesdays, other commercials for games industry products you'd like to see me break down for you. But before then, you should join us next time for when I'm actually going to sit down and interview Bobby Kotick and get him to admit to that thing that he did. You know the one. Thank you for watching. Stay true.